10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And we are live. Good evening. How are you, David?
I am fantastic, Juanita. How are you doing today?
I'm doing so well. I haven't seen you in a Zoom room or physically in so many months. It's so wonderful to be here with you again. Have you been well? How are you doing today? It's so wonderful to have you here.
Oh, it's so good to be back. I think the last time we were on, I think it was back at the end of December, beginning of January. It was right after Emilio and Daniela's show. And
Yeah.
it's always a privilege to be here on your amazing show. Thank you so much for always having me back. I'm doing pretty good. You know, hanging in there is my new catchphrase that my grandfather always used to use. So I've kind of borrowed that from him. Things have been good, just staying busy here in Denver. We just came out of a cold snap where it was 0 degrees 2 days ago, and we got a few inches of snow. So we're just enjoying the weather and just kind of taking it easy.
I love it. I love it. It's always so lovely to chat with you. It's so easy to talk to you. You're such a good communicator. And I think back to when you were on Meticulous Moments. You were a phenomenal guest on the podcast last year, and we had for the audience members, go check it out. David really shared a lot of amazing content there, so thank you for that. I remember that interview so clearly. And to the audience, I asked David, we had a quick brief before we came into this live. I said to David, is there something I can mention or something that I shouldn't mention? He said, just don't say go Camp City Chiefs. So
we had to
so
say
tell
that
us, you wanted to do a
shout out to Daniel and Emilio. So.
Go Eagles. I also love the Eagles, so I'm with you on that. Amen. It's so wonderful to be able to see, everything that has happened since last year up to now. You're still going strong. I would love for you, because I know you, we've been friends for a while, and I would love for you to introduce yourself to the audience for those who've not met you yet, and then we'll discuss, new beginnings and how that started.
Absolutely. So, yeah, thank you so much, Juanita. And I'm really glad you said that, because I'm hoping that Danielle and Emilio see this, because we got to support the Eagles. That was one heck of a game, and too bad it didn't go on the other end. But anyways, my name is David Vrablik. I'm the founder and president of New Beginnings Motivation. And the company was born in the tragic loss of my older brother, Joe, 5 years ago this year. Joe was more than just a brother to me. He was my mentor. He was my best friend. And the one thing I took away from his passing was the legacy that he left behind. And I want to give a shout out, because I sent some of these videos out a couple weeks ago. But if you look up Joe Vrablik, 1 minute Ironman video, you'll see the beauty of what Joe was all about. He was a 14-time Ironman finisher. He was going for number 15 before we lost him in Kona, Hawaii. But this was a man that never quit. He never stopped. He never gave up. Even though when life could get tough, he never gave up. He always had that drive within inside of him. And when I lost him, it made me realize that I wasn't living my life on my terms. I was living my life the way I thought I was supposed to, by the expectations of those in my life. And when I lost him, I looked over through the last 35 years that I had with him, and I was like, what made him tick? And there was a beautiful thing that he had, and I didn't bring it up today because I keep it in my safe, but it's a dog tag from his first Ironman. And at the bottom of the dog tag, it said, don't tell me I can't. And my entire life, my friends, everybody's told me that I was always going to have to be taken care of. And I was always going to have to be supported, because I had I have ADD, so I struggle with that on a regular basis. But I also have some other issues that we'll talk about later on. But when I saw that at the Don't Tell Me I Can't, that was the moment when I tapped into my new beginnings. That was the moment when I realized that I wasn't living my life on my terms. And Joe passed away at the age of 39 from an aortic dissection, which is genetic. And I'm constantly monitored for it. They're not so concerned about it with me, but it made me forced to realize that I'm going to be 40 in less than 2 months. And I'm grateful for another year because we're not guaranteed a tomorrow. And that's why the business was founded about in the honor of my brother. And we named it New Beginnings Motivation because everybody has that divine right to begin again. And if you're stuck in a rut, the only person that can stop you from achieving anything, it's not your spouse, it's not your siblings, it's not your parents, it's grandparents, or anybody in your life. It's you.
Yeah.
And once you tap into that, you'll be good.
Yeah. And I always, when I speak with you always bring so much inspiration. I mean, the fact that you went after the passing of your brother and you started this new movement, New Beginnings. I mean, how beautiful is that? In honor of his life, in honor of everything that he taught you, that legacy that he left, that memory that lingers. You in one of the groups that I'm in with you. And I listened to it and I cried because it was so beautiful, that you went and you put that together, and that's speaking to people on so many levels. Who helped you with that song? Did you have it put together for him, and how can I share it on social media? I would love for people to hear it. It's so soothing and beautiful.
Yeah. So when I first started out, I did everything on my own because at that time, I didn't want to put the burden on anybody else because it was so fresh since the death of Joe. My ex-wife at the time, she supported me so much with the business and we were making headway before the divorce. But I finally realized that it takes community. And the first person that I reached out to was Michael Faber. Through Unleash You Now. We both have the commonality, unfortunately, of losing our brothers. And ironically, I always think about this whenever he tells me both of our brothers' names are Joey. And we connected and bonded over that. Once I got to know Michael and I got to know the Unleash You Now family, I signed up to have him become my business coach because I was new in the virtual business. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know community. I didn't know the social media platform. And so Michael and his team really surrounded me to help me get the business launched. And then I brought my very good friend, Nathan Franks, and his beautiful wife, Maura, on board, where they take care of all the behind the scenes, the virtual, the marketing, the strategizing, the social media, the engagement posts, so that I can focus on getting the message out. Because when I was trying to do all of that, it became overwhelming. And then it exploded from there. I got to know Michael and his team, and I met Jesse Cruz with the Merge Worldwide family, and I met Emilio and Daniela through Jesse Cruz and Josh Aronovich through Jesse Cruz, and we just all became one family. Even though we're a part of all those communities, they're a part of the New Beginnings family. And when I did that, it made me realize that I didn't have to do this by myself. Because if you try to do it by yourself, that's when the negativity, the toxicity gets into your brain. It's going to, you can't do this. But then when you have your cheerleaders in the background, now I will say this, Michael did wear a dress at one point and he got over 1 million views on TikTok. So you got to look that up, my friends. And so every time I would think of the cheerleaders, I could see Michael in the background go, yeah! And it was awesome. And it just,
I didn't know that. Oh my goodness, I love the fact that after you went through that tragic time, in your life, that there were people that really flocked to you to help you. And all the people that you've mentioned here, I've had the privilege to meet them only in Jan. But, Michael Faber was there with the Unleash You team. They did a phenomenal job at the event that we were, hosting. I met Emilia and Daniela, spent quite a bit of time with them. Jesse Cruz and his wife, all these wonderful people together. So I feel what you are saying. I don't just only hear, I feel it because I know, just being surrounded by them and their wonderful energies. I did not know that your brothers' names were both Joey. That I didn't know. And that is phenomenal to hear that. And I really believe God formed that bond for you so that you have these supportive people. And I did not know that Michael Faber danced around in a dress. I
It
did
wasn't
not
only
know that.
Michael. It wasn't only Michael. It was all the men in the Unleash Your Now family. And I think Margaret challenged them to this. And I don't know if you look it up on TikTok or whatever, but he was wearing a black dress when Evan was wearing a blue one or a pink one. I don't remember, but it was epic.
You see, lovely people having a lovely time and doing the things that they do. Especially the Unleash Your Family is really to help others and to uplift and build. So I might go and look for that TikTok. I believe that it would make me laugh for hours, but
Yep.
it just shows you that they love you and support you and that they're really there for you. So I know that we talked the other day a little bit briefly about the health issues that you were facing. What I notice about you is that you really like Joey, your brother. You never give up. And what I like about how you approach that is you send updates.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see how God moves, as you send the updates. Tell us about what you faced recently and how did that pan out and what's the latest update so that we can continue to keep you in prayer and cheer you on because you are doing great things, my friend.
Thank you so much, Juanita. This last 11 months have not been easy. It's back on March 18th of last year, I had an accident on the job working at my day job. And I slipped on some ice and smacked my head on the concrete, knocked myself out for about 20 minutes. All I remember is waking up, looking at the under chassis of the bus, and nobody was there because it was spring break and there was only 2 routes running. I don't know how the heck I did it, but I got myself back up, grabbed my things, and I was so discombobulated and confused. Walked into the terminal office, told the manager what happened, and went through the whole hullabaloo. Found out that when I hit my head, I caused 3 brain bleeds, 2 on my frontal lobe and 1 on my side lobe. And the headache that I had for those first 6 to 8 weeks was like, I don't even know how to compare it to anything.
Oh my goodness.
But it was insane. And not only that, I tore my right shoulder up. I tore my rotator cuff and my labrum muscle. And then in the midst of all that, I found out that I had thyroid cancer. So not only was I dealing with a mild traumatic brain injury and a torn right shoulder, I had to go quickly in for thyroid surgery before they could do anything to fix my shoulder. And lately, it's been about 11 months. The bleeds have subsided. The brain stopped bleeding. But I have to go get every 3 months Botox injections on my skull. I didn't know this, but Botox was originally designed for migraines and headaches. And so my neurologist started doing that, knocked me down for a couple of days because they had 30 pricks into my head, down my neck, and on my shoulders. And this is going to help. And it hurt. And this is going to help with the migraines, headaches. And I thought I retore something in my shoulder, had to go get an MRI. Fortunately, we didn't have to there was no tears. It's just I had some fluid and inflammation in my right shoulder. So they did a cortisone injection. So I've been through all this, right? And 2018, I lose Joe. And the one thing that I contribute to why I can withstand so much is not 2018. It was 2007 when I tried to take my own life. And by the grace of God, I'm still here today. I remember when I was in the emergency room, my heart rate dropped to 28 beats per minute. They rolled me over, getting ready to hook me up to all the machines. And all of a sudden my heart went from 28 up to 75 and it stayed. And in that moment, that's what built me to withstand whatever came my way. I've been told that I'm not going to succeed. I've been an underdog my entire life. And when I survived 07, I knew whatever came my way, I could withstand it. Life's going to continue to knock me down, but we all have that choice to be able to get back up again. And when I was able to stand back up after 07 and 18, after the death of Joe, it hurt when my ex-wife filed for divorce. It hurt hard. I miss her every day. It hurt. It hurt with the brain injury and the shoulder injury and the cancer. But if I can withstand 07 and 18, nothing's going to stop me from doing what I want to do. The only person that could stop me from doing what I want to do is me. And so that's why I
Yeah.
keep pushing forward. Last year, I went to the Merge Worldwide Speaker Competition with Jesse Cruz. And my walk-up song
Oh,
was I
just
Get Knocked Down, but I Get Back Up Again by Chumpawampa. I listened to that song. Juanita, this is hilarious. I don't mean to date myself here, but in 1998, 99, I was in high school. And that was a song that was popular back in those days. And I remember when I was in my 30s, I'm like, I'm not going to listen to that stuff because I listened to it when I was in high school. But with everything that happened, I
yeah.
wanted that song because I kept getting knocked down, but I get back up again.
Amen. Wow. I love that. I love that. And I listened to that song as well. I think I'm 2 years older than you. I remember that it was a big, big hit.
Yep.
You know, you're talking about getting knocked down and getting back up again. I want to share something with you that happened at the dojo to me last year. I went to for a kickboxing fight, but I wasn't in the zone that day. I was overworked. I was tired. I wasn't there. And when we do the kickboxing, we have the bigger gloves, right? So
Mhm.
when you do this, the other fighting, the points fighting, the gloves are small. And I fought this black belt guy, and he kept punching me in the face, David. It was like I just couldn't switch on that day. He punched me in the face, and he punched me, and he punched me. And I just took it, and then at some point he got tired, and I gave him a hook, and I could see he felt it. Like I could see, his face went, whoa.
Yeah.
And they stopped the fight. And I thought, I lost this fight. I'll come back stronger tomorrow. And the sensei picked up both our hands and he said, it's a tie. And I looked at the sensei and I said, but he was punching me in the face constantly. He said, no, but you could take it. You didn't stop the fight. You didn't say you didn't want to go on anymore. You took it. You just came back. You came back. And that's what you made me think of. You just keep coming back. And when you come back stronger. You bring
Yep.
that hook, David. You should always keep on with what you're doing. I'm so proud of you. And I know you're very busy with new beginnings. You have an event in April. You have one in September. You have one in January 2024. In April, it's the experience, the Rockies experience in for new beginnings. In September is Recreate with NBN. And then the weekend of discovery in Jan. Tell us more about that, please, because I really am looking forward to the one in the Rockies. I want to
Yeah.
try and do there because I love mountains. Tell us
Oh,
more.
we would love to have you. Experience the Rockies with New Beginnings is our first retreat that we're ever going to be hosting. It's going to be a time where we're going to have 3 or 4 guest speakers coming in that are good friends of the family. But it's about to rejuvenate and relax and kind of get away from the hullabaloo of life. And
Yeah.
in the midst of all that, the theme is going to be legacy. What type of legacy do you want to leave
Oh,
behind for your family?
I love
But we're going to be going to hit up the hot springs up at Iron Mountain Lodge up in Glenwood Springs. And then we're going to go play a little bit on the Alpine slide where you can actually take a
Oh,
slide down the mountain front. And I haven't done this since I was
woo.
18. So it's been about 20 years. I may not be able to participate in this one because of my
I'm
shoulder.
going.
Uh, I'll have my good SLR camera and I'll be taking pictures. But it's about just getting together and just relaxing, re-energizing. And that time of the year up in the Rockies, it's going to be super green because we've had a heck of a winter here. It's been the worst winter we've
Oh,
had in years, but it's good
wow.
because it's going to be good for
Yeah,
the moisture. Um,
for
so
the good.
that's the experience the Rockies with New Beginnings. And then the Recreate with MBM is everybody has a divine right to be able to begin again. And we're going to give you the blueprints and the tools and the techniques with our committed action forms where you can make goals on your faith, health, and wealth. I'm going to break down the faith really quick. I'm not going to go through all of
Yeah,
them because that could take me an
yeah.
hour. But faith is forgiveness, awareness, inner strength, trust, and hope. It all starts with forgiveness.
Wow.
If there's someone in your life that you need to forgive to get closure, we're going to teach you how to do that. If you need to forgive yourself, that's the biggest piece. That's one of the hardest things to do is to forgive yourself. If there's anything you need to forgive yourself for. And there have been times I've had a hard time saying, Dave, I love you and I
Yeah,
forgive you for what's happened. And
yeah.
once you can tap into that, you're going to become unbreakable and unstoppable. That's going to be a 3-day event where it's probably going to be down in Colorado Springs. I'm not going to give away the location because we haven't done our pre-launch yet. We want to
Yeah.
build the excitement for it. So we're excited for that one. And then the weekend of Discovery in January, we're going to be
Yeah.
back down in Orlando. Now, I'm not going to give away specifics because what we did this year was amazing and we love to build the excitement. But there could be a mouse involved with his girlfriend. And there's going to be many guest speakers that are going to breathe life into you, hope into you. And it's going to ignite that fire that whatever you want to do with your life, you're going to go do it. This weekend is about the weekend of the magic of possibilities. So dream about what you want your life to be. Dream about what magic can come into your life. And we're going to go and we're going to have some fun. We're going to act like kids, but then we're going to get into the nitty gritty and we're going to dig down and we're going to get rid of stuff. So that's what those 3 weekends are all about. We're going to probably do a virtual event next month. I got a busy month next month, so we got to iron some stuff out we had 25 guest speakers at our last virtual event. So we got to get that all ironed out, but I'll let Juanita know as soon as we get that scheduled.
Absolutely. I see you busy. I see you on the go. I see you making the most of life, really facilitating new beginnings for people. Thank you for the message that you put out there that everybody deserves a second chance, that we can forgive ourselves as we can forgive others. I was actually in a meeting before this one, and we also spoke about forgiveness and how important it is. So thank you for bringing that to the table, and for putting all these events together where you really bring people together and change their lives for the better. I would love to ask if you have any last words of wisdom for the audience. We are going to follow you. We're going to network with you. We're going to support you. I always say we're going to cheer you on because we believe in you. We believe in your mission and what you do out there. Any last words of wisdom for the audience, David?
Absolutely. I mentioned earlier that I'm an underdog. And I can guess there are a few underdogs out there. Imagine the underdog soaring above their dreams, soaring over the Rocky Mountains, soaring above the negative naysayers, tapping into that inner strength that no matter what happens when life tries to knock you down, when you have that inner strength in your community and you're soaring, nothing's going to stop you. So what's holding you back? I shared all of these experiences that's happened in my life. I could have easily rolled into a corner the day my brother died, but I didn't. I kept going. I'm going to steal something from my good brother, Jesse Cruz, because he's a brother and I know he loves this. But, the great thing about writing a book, if you're not happy with the current chapter that you're in, you know what you can do with a chapter?
Yeah.
You can rip it out and crumble it up and start over. Create that new beginnings. So I want you to imagine, to all my underdogs out there, that when you have people in your life telling you that you can't do something, imagine soaring above them to the new heights. What type of legacy do you want to leave behind? The choice is yours.
I love that. See, audience, that's why I have so many wonderful conversations with my brother. He just brings inspiration. I love the upliftment and the positive messages that you bring. Thank you for everything that you do for everyone out there, making the world a better place. And we'll be back with updates. David and I will be back with updates, I'm sure, regularly, so that we can keep on, making it known, putting it out there. Get involved. Contact him. Get him on your podcast. Support his community and spread the word, because he is here to bring positive change. Thank you so much, David. I appreciate you, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you for having me, Juanita, and everybody have a beautiful weekend.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.